Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya Yato Anvayaditaratascha Artheshu Abhigyaswarat Tene Brahmahridaya Adikavaye Muhyanti Yatsurayah Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Swena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Nigamakalpataror Galitam Phalam Shukamukad Amrita Drava Sanyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. So we now enter the 18th chapter of the 8th Skandha of Srimad Bhagavatam. We saw how the Lord entered the womb of Aditi and he was glorified by Brahma. While in the womb, now Shuka Brahma Rishi continues. He says, then after that the Lord, whose exploits and glory were celebrated by Brahma while he was in the womb, he took his descent from Aditi. So the avatar of Vamana happens. He is first descending in his original form. It is said he is endowed with 4 arms, carrying a conch, a mace, a lotus, and a discus, clad in yellow silk and with eyes like lotuses. Chaturbhuja, Shanka Gada, Abja Chakra, Pishangavasa, Nalinayate Kshanah. So his eyes are like lotus, he's clad in yellow, and he's having the 4 articles in 4 arms, the conch, mace, lotus, and disc, the 4 transcendental articles that is there in the arms of Bhagavan always. He is of dark cloud-like color, Shyama, bearing the mark of Srivatsa Vaksha. He is wearing a garland of forest flowers, Vanamali. So with the garland of forest flowers, with Srivatsa on his chest, carrying the mark of Lakshmi, with the luster of lotus like face, shining forth with radiance and with beautiful decoration in terms of earrings and anklets and various other ornaments, he descended in his original form, as it were, and he was looking resplendent with beautiful decoration with the Kaustuba gem, and thereby he emitted radiance in the entire house of Kashyapa where he appeared. So interestingly, we will see the same happens when Krishna appears too. He first appears in his original form and then he takes the form of the baby. Here again, he first appears in the original form with the 4 arms, Chaturbhuja, and all the paraphernalia and all the rest, and radiating the whole house. And after that, he will take the form of Vamana. So now he is radiating, and the luster is shining the whole house. All the quarters are in fact brightened up. It is said that all the elements of nature were celebrating. The lakes and ponds were clear. The rivers were flowing crystal clear water. The season was showing its beautiful colors. It was the season of fall. The heaven, earth, and all the celestial regions were all happy. The cows were joyful. All the sages were joyful. So everyone was in great happiness because of the descent of Bhagavan, the supreme auspicious descent of Bhagavan. He appeared on Shravana Dwadashi day. Dwadashi is the 12th day of the lunar fortnight, 12th day after new moon or full moon. In this case, he appears 12th day after the new moon in the bright fortnight, when the moon happened to be in Shravana and at the time called Abhijit. Abhijit is the position when the sun is at the highest point, which is noon. So when the lunar position is Dwadashi, 12th day after the new moon, in the month of Shravana, that is when the moon is in Shravana, when the Muhurta is Abhijit, when the sun is at its highest point at noon, he appeared in the most auspicious way. It is said, Shronayam Shravana Dwadashyam Muhurter Abhijiti Prabhu. So in this Muhurta, Abhijit Muhurta, Shravana Dwadashi he appeared. Vijaya Nama Sa Prokta Yasyam Janma Vidu Harehe. So this Janma of Hari, this appearance of Bhagavan, happened on this day called Vijaya. Vijaya literally means victory. This Dwadashi is called Vijaya Dwadashi because it is the appearance of the Lord. So it is said that all the quarters were celebrating, the all the divine celestial beings were celebrating, the apsaras were dancing, the gandharvas were singing, the showers were raining, the skies were making tumultuous noises, many musical instruments were heard, all the celestial beings such as charanas, yakshas were all celebrating and uttering praises, and everyone was surrounding the hermitage of Aditi, showering it with flowers and singing and dancing. So the whole place was reverberating with celebration because of the appearance of the Lord. So this is the divine appearance of Vamana avatar. Vamana avatar is the first avatar where Bhagavan appears in a human form. So as we saw, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha have appeared so far. Matsya is yet to be revealed. We will see that a little later. But Matsya is the avatar in the form of fish. Kurma is tortoise. Varaha is the wild boar. And Narasimha is half man, half lion. So Vamana is the first full human form. The Lord appears, albeit a dwarf form. So when he appears first in his original form as the son of Aditi, all the quarters are celebrating. The whole universe is in celebration, and it is said that astonished to see the supreme being assuming this wonderful personality, Aditi was herself in great joy, and Kashyapa the father was also filled with wonder, and he blessed by saying, may you be victorious. It says, drashtva aditistam nijagarbha sambhavam parampumamsam mudamapa vismita. So she was in great wonder and happiness and joy, seeing that the Lord has appeared simply out of her own womb. She was pregnant, and even though she knew, because Lord had told her that I'm going to enter your womb and come, still to behold him in their house now in his original form was something that was a source of great joy and wonder for her. Then it says, Grihita Deham Nijayoga Mayaya Prajapatishchaha Jayeti Vismitah. The Prajapati, who is Kashyapa, he was also in great wonder and joy, and he said Jayeti, which means may you be victorious, seeing the form of the Lord, which he takes by his own Maya. It says Nija Yoga Mayaya. By his own Maya, he has taken this form. So that's why Krishna says in the Gita that whenever I descend, I come by holding this entire Maya in my control. So normally, when all created beings appear, they are subject to Maya because they are coming because of their karma. And therefore, due to the past karma, they take birth and they are subject to Maya, and that is why they are caught in the false identification with body and mind. And that is why there is the need for recognizing the truth by devotion and surrender, and thereby getting liberated. Whereas the Lord, when he appears, he has no karma, he is only appearing for benediction, for blessings, and for auspiciousness of all beings, and therefore his appearance is divine and he is not subject to Maya. He in fact takes Maya within his control and appears. That's why here also it says Nija Yoga Mayaya, that is with his own Maya under his control he appeared. And when he appeared thus, it was celebrated by all, and then most wonderfully, the Lord, after having appeared in his original form, now, like an actor of wonderful movements, he suddenly became a short Brahmana boy. And that is what Vamana means. Vamana literally means one who is like a dwarf, a short person, and Vamana is the avatar of the Lord as a short Brahmana. So the Lord takes the form of a short Brahmana instantly. So he changes his form. The same we will see even when Krishna appears. Similarly, he will change his form into the small, beautiful baby Krishna from the form of Narayana. Just as here, from the form of Narayana, he changes to the form of Vamana. So it is said here, Yattad Vapur Bhati Vibhushana Ayudair Avyakta Chid Vyaktamadharayad Harihi. So Hari took the form of this Vamana, though his original form is beyond conception. It is pure consciousness. But he took this form, and it says, Babhuva tenaiva sa vamano vatuhu sampashyator divyagati yatha nataha. So just as an actor changes form, a very skillful actor very gracefully changes form on stage instantly, it is said similarly, Hari here took the form of Vamana instantly. And this form was so glorious that everybody was so happy to see it. So the miracle here is he did not appear as a baby, but he instantly appeared as a boy, a Brahmana boy. And therefore, because he's a Brahmana boy, see, his purpose is to take care of Aditi's desire of restoring the Devas in the heaven, and also give his benediction to Bali, who is a pure devotee. So he doesn't waste any time here. He instantly becomes a boy, a young boy, and therefore immediately his Upanayana is done. Upanayana is the festival or the function where the sacred thread is given to a Brahmana boy, by which he is given initiation into the Gayatri mantra and so on. So Upanayana literally means, Nayana means to take someone close. Upanayana literally means to take someone to truth. Of course, with Bhagavan here, he is always truth personified, and yet he takes on this pastime of doing Upanayana. So when he does this Upanayana, it is said it is all done so gloriously because the best of the best come and do the Upanayana for him. The sage Kashyapa, whose the father was placed in the front, and for investing with the sacred thread, Savita, the deity presiding over sun, came and gave the Gayatri mantra. So Savita is the deity invoked in Gayatri mantra, Tat Savitur when we say. So that Savita came to give the initiation of Gayatri mantra, and Brihaspati, the guru of the Devatas, as we saw, the one who prophesied already to Indra that Bali cannot be conquered now, and there will come a time when he can be conquered. So Brihaspati knows past, present and future. So Brihaspati, he gave the sacred thread, the guru of all Devas, because as we know, Vamana is also appearing in the clan of Devas. Being born to Aditi, he is also the Aditya now. He is the 12th Aditya in fact. And that is why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, when he lists his glories in Vibhuti, he says, among all the Adityas, I am Vishnu. So all the Adityas are otherwise Devas like Indra and Varuna and so on. We saw in fact the list of all the Adityas earlier. But the last Aditya is the Supreme Being himself. It was described even in the description of this Manvantara that the 12 Adityas, the 11 Adityas are the regular Devas, the demigods, but the 12th is Bhagavan himself, which is Vamana right now appearing. That's why Krishna said, Adityana maham Vishnuhu. So I am among Adityas, I am Vishnu. So because he is an Aditya, his guru is also Brihaspati. So Brihaspati gives him the sacred thread. Kashyapa gives him the sacred cord that is tied around the waist, from which the loin cloth is tied. Mother Earth, it is said, gave him a deer skin to wear. The deity presiding over moon gave the sacred staff. Normally, a sacred staff stick is given to a Brahmana boy, which he must always carry. That was given by the deity presiding over moon. The mother Aditi gave him a strip of cloth, which is called as Kaupina, to cover his private parts, as it were. And Dyau, the deity presiding over the sky, gave an umbrella. So normally these are the things that are given to a Brahmana boy during Upanayanam: a staff, an umbrella, a kaupina, that is a loin cloth, and so on. All of these are given by the most special beings. And Brahma comes and gives him Kamandalu. Kamandalu is a vessel for collecting water and so on. So that is given by Brahma himself. And Kusha grass, blades of Kusha grass are given by the 7 seers, the Sapta Rishis. We saw the names of Sapta Rishis of this Manvantara, and it includes Kashyapa himself, who is his father, and Vishwamitra, Atri, and so on. So those 7 seers give him Kusha grass. Saraswati, the goddess of learning, gives a rosary of Aksha seeds. So all of these are beautifully described It says, Tam vatum vamanam drishtva modamana maharshayah karmani karayamasuhu puraskritya prajapatim. Keeping Kashyapa in the front, all the rishis there, the maharishis, they all worshipped him. Then it says, Tasyo upaniyamanasya savitrim savita bravit. So for his upanayana, as we said, Savita gave the Gayatri mantra. Brihaspatir Brahmasutram Mekhalam Kashyapo Adadat. Brihaspati gave the Brahma Sutram, which is the sacred thread, and Kashyapa gave the cord to be tied around the waist. Dadau Krishna Jinam Bhumir Dhandam Somo Vanaspatihi. Earth, the Mother Earth, gave him the deer skin to wear, and Vanaspati, who is the reference to moon, because the moon is the one that presides over all the forests and nourishes the forests. So the moon gave the staff, Kaupina Chadhanam Mata Dyaurat Chatram Jagataf Patehe. So for the Lord of the Universe, Jagataf Patehe, the umbrella was given by the space itself, and Kaupina, the loincloth, was given by his mother. Kamandalum Vedagarbha, the Kamandalu, the vessel, was given by Brahma. Kushan Saptarishyo Daduhu, the sacred grass, was given by the seven seers. Akshamala Maharaja Saraswati Abhyayatmanah. And for the great imperishable being, Saraswati gave the rosary beads. Therefore, in this way, he was honored by all great beings, and finally, it is said that goddess Uma herself came and gave him the first bhiksha. So, bhiksha is the invocation where a Brahmana boy goes and begs for food from mothers of all families. So, on the very day he is invested with a sacred thread, he goes and asks for bhiksha or begging for food, because a Brahmana boy in Brahmacharya is supposed to live on the alms of others, and therefore he simply takes his vessel, and the vessel was given by Kubera, it is said, and that vessel he takes to Mother Parvati. Mother Parvati comes there, Sakshat, to give him the first bhiksha. Bhiksham Bhagavati Sakshat Uma Dadad Ambika Sati. So Ambika, the mother of the universe, Uma, the consort of Lord Shiva, she gives the bhiksha. That's why she is called Annapurni, because she is the one who gives food to anyone. She is, in fact, there is a beautiful deity of Annapurni in Kashi. So she is called Annapurne Sadapurne Shankara Prana Vallabhe. So she is the one who gives bhiksha, that is food, to anyone who is asking for food. And that is why it is said that in Kashi nobody goes hungry. So that mother, Annapurni, Uma, gives him the first bhiksha. So thus honored by all the great beings, Vamana outshone everyone there. The beings there were no ordinary beings, as we can see. Uma is there, Brahma is there, the Saptarishis are there, Saraswati is there, and it is said in still that Vamana outshone all of them because of his resplendence, being the supreme being, and then installing the sacred fire and lighting the fire, he worshipped it properly to start his journey as a Brahmana boy. And immediately he set about his job. It is said that he went to Bali's place. So Bali, as we saw, having gotten dominion over heaven and earth, is doing Ashwamedha Yajna, horse sacrifices to strengthen his regime, guided by his gurus, and he's serving them with great humility. So knowing this, Bhagavan Vamana goes there. Bali, he is propitiating the Lord by horse sacrifices, and it is organized by the Bhrigus, his guru, headed by Shukracharya. So Lord Vamana goes there directly from the place of Aditi to the sacrificial hall of Bali. And there, as soon as he lands there, the celebrated Bhrigus who are conducting the sacrifice and Bhrigu himself, they all see as if a sun has risen there. So they are doing this, it is said, on the northern bank of Narmada, which is a very sacred river flowing in the middle of Bharat. And on the northern bank of Narmada, this sacrificial hall is set up by Bali, and Bhrigus are guiding the sacrifice. And there, it is said, when he appeared, it is as if sun had risen, another sun had risen, and he was eclipsing everyone with his divine splendor, and all the priests and everyone there wondered who it is, whether it is Sun himself or whether it is Sanat Kumara, because Sanat Kumara, as we have seen, is a divine sage who is also a young Brahmana boy. So they are wondering whether it's Sanat Kumara who has come or whether it's Sun who has taken this form. They were speculating like this in so many ways because they don't know who it is, but there he was, Lord Vamana, coming as a Brahmana boy, having this umbrella over his head with a sacred staff in one hand and the kamandalu, that is the vessel for water, in the other hand, and observing the Lord having entered the sacrificial ground, wearing a deer skin and sacred thread and looking extremely radiant and completely overpowered by his luster and brilliance. Everyone there gets up. The Brigus get up, Bali gets up, everyone gets up. They are all charmed to see him, and so they offer him a suitable seat, and then they inquire about him. And after that, Bali, who is, as we saw already, a very cultured person, very obedient, very humble. So he brings water and he washes the feet of the Lord with great devotion, and knowing what is right, he takes the water and he places it on his own head, which is the right thing to do, because he knows that this water is sacred coming from this resplendent boy. And Shuka Brahmam here beautifully says this water is held by even Shiva in his head, because as we know, the water coming from the Lord's feet as Ganga goes to the head of Shiva, who holds it in his matted locks and releases it. So similarly, the water that even sanctifies the head of Shiva is now sanctifying Bali. So it says, Bali swagato na abhinandata padau bhagavato balihi avanijyarcha archayamasa mukta sangha manoramam. Here it's beautifully said, his Bhagavan is called as Mukta Sangha Manoramam. That is, one who is delightful even to those who are completely abiding in the self. We saw this even with Shuka Brahma Rishi, when in the beginning he was asked, how come Shuka Brahma Rishi, who is a complete jnani, is speaking about stories of Krishna? And it was said that that is because the stories of Bhagavan are so enchanting that even the supreme jnani takes delight in this. That's why he is called here as Mukta Sangha Manoramam. Those who are completely liberated still take delight in talking about the stories. So Bali thus offers him all the right respects and worship, and he glorifies him. He says, Swagatam te namastubhyam Brahman ikam karavamate Brahmarishinam tapasakshan manye tava arya vapurdharam. He says, O great being, I offer my obeisance to you, O noble one, O Arya. You are embodiment of supreme Brahmanhood, and I can see that you are a radiant being. Please tell me, what can I do for you? It is certain that all the spirits of all my forefathers, my entire race, and also everybody assembled in the sacrifice, everyone has realized their perfection by simply seeing your vision, having your darshan. My sacred fires are properly fed. This land is sanctified. My being is sanctified. He says, everyone here, everything here, the sins of everyone is destroyed by simply beholding you, by getting your darshan. Therefore, please tell me what you need. You can take whatever you desire. So now he makes a promise to Vamana, just being completely taken in by the radiance of Vamana, without Vamana even having spoken a word. Bali on his own offers that you can take whatever you desire, O Brahmachari. If you want anything, please ask me, whether it's a cow or gold or house or luxuries or comfort or food or villages or horses, anything you want, you can ask. Whatever you ask, I shall give you. So he makes a promise that whatever you ask, I shall give you. And with this chapter ends. Now we will see what Vamana asks and how that leads to the wonderful pastime of Vamana avatar. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.